Hello and welcome to this program, Inside the Wings of Education Sector. With me today I have a Vice Chancellor of Victoria University and is a researcher, educationist and a policy analyst. We are going to take a deep dive in matters of education. We have had a lot of challenges in education system of Uganda. We have had many universities release students to the employment world, but the world has failed to absorb them. Reason, they are having limited skills, yet they have been in school for about 23 years. And importantly, we are going also to take a look in the aspect of courses of universities. In most cases, when Ugandans go in the diaspora to further their studies, they call them expired courses, or they are not accredited. So we are having an educationist here who has been in this education system, who has studied and researched well in, I think, is going to be giving us solutions from a researched point of view. Dr. Lawrence Muganga, welcome to the show and thanks for allowing me to speak to us.
Thank you very much, Ivan. Thank you. Giving us this visit, it is very, very important. And I like the name of the show, Inside the Wings of Education. Someone should pay attention to that. Inside the wings of education, we really need to look there, search ourselves, do some soul searching.
Yes, Doctor, just of recent, Makerere graduated 12,913 students. Last year in December, Chambogo released 10,926 students. And other universities. I'm benchmarking on those two, but I know even here at Victoria University, you released some students.
True.
All of them are sent to the employment world. But unfortunately, majority of them are still on the streets languishing with their academic papers. What would be the problem?
The problem is very simple. Let me begin here. That if you look, you know, in life people walk journeys, okay?
Yes.
We too, as a country, Uganda, since 1986, for example, that's the quickest yardstick everyone can remember, including some young people. At least they can remember can relate to what has been going on. We have walked a journey, okay, from 1986 to today. And tremendous things have been done. If you look at what this government has done in the sector of education and where it is coming from, tremendous things have happened. I'll give you a few things. In higher education, a sector I am situated, where I'm operating right now, there was a time when there was only one university, okay? And it was very hard for people to go to university, okay? Maybe someone can argue today that it was a blessing in disguise that there was one university, so everyone, not everyone needed to go to the university. Maybe they wanted to branch off and do other things that are important to the country. But we had only one university. Despite the bigger population we had. Today, I can tell you that we have over 50 universities. Okay?
It is an achievement.
So, if you look at the massification of universities, we are doing great. We have really scored that achievement. So now, also, access to higher education is now tenable. Like we see it, that it is happening. So many people are accessing higher education compared to what used to happen prior to that. So credit goes, of course, to this government. But also, you can stretch it a little bit downwards. And you look at, again, when you talk about accessibility, literacy levels or illiteracy levels, you realize that previously, again, even access to primary education was a huge stumbling block for the growth of this country, okay? Very few kids were going into primary education. Very few kids were accessing secondary education. And that has changed still. We have UPE, okay? which is now, you can fault the quality all you want, but access is happening. Universal secondary education. Again, it is happening. So many students are going into secondary education. With the existence of these programs that are put in place in government. So one would argue, yes, they are going there, and they are even going to the university, but they are coming out to really roam around communities without a job. Fine, that's great. But they have been exposed to some level of what? Education. Having said that, I can also add that we can do better. Now that we have made sure that there is significant room to access higher education, a number of institutions, universities and other tertiary institutions, very, very high chances that everyone now can access primary education and secondary education. Now that those are in place, can we even make it better? That's what my call has been. Can we wish ourselves great? Okay? Can we also look outwards? That when you see a child, compare this child situated here in Kampala, or situated in Kamwenge, situated in Bukomansimbi, situated in Moroto, Karamoja, where when you see that child, can you compare this child to another child who is seated in Finland, who is seated in Sweden, who is seated in Australia, who is seated in Kenya, who is seated in Algeria, because they are going to compete for their well-being in this space called the world.
Doctor,
you understand?
How? We want to
now that's why I'm coming. Like when we say we are developing a country, you just don't wake up and you say, oh, there is something called a country showed up. No. Yes, a country, yes, there are boundaries of Uganda. We know what Uganda is, but what makes Uganda are the people. So if you get one child plus another child plus another child, they form the people. That is our country. That is Uganda. And if you look at the young people today, 0 to 34 years, they are almost 75% of the population. So if you don't give them the right education that can allow them to compete with the significant part of the world, then we are undercutting ourselves. So why I invoked this child? Now, and you're asking about the graduates coming out of universities. If you look at a child today, the real world needs is what can you do with what you know, not just you knowing. The time of knowing is not this time, the digital economy we live in today. So therefore, before you move on, you cannot blame these students as they come out in masses looking for jobs. You don't blame them. Blame a system that sat them in a classroom Monday to Friday. Okay? They became professional students as if it is a career. Monday to Friday for 3 years. Some 4 years. Others even 5. And if they are lucky, they are exposed to something called an internship for 2 months, and of which that internship, the supervisor is going to use them because there are no outcomes set, there are no goals, no targets, no objectives, no nothing. Their respective supervisors are going to make them busy to photocopy papers or make for them tea or deliver things. Okay? So that is not the experience they need. So they are seated in a classroom for 3 to 4 years. Then you graduate them with 0 years of experience. The employment world over, is looking for someone who has at least 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on years of what? Experience. Our graduate has 0. And on top of having 0, they are not digitally competent. And they were never trained to do things, okay, to create things. They were nurtured, developed to cram things, to remember them, and deliver them when they are needed. Now, why are you blaming them? Why are you blaming where we are right now? No one can create jobs. We only have people who are looking for them. But even the people who are looking for them can't do them because they don't have the skills required. So that is the system we are in, and that is what we need to change.
Doctor, which digital strategy can Uganda adopt to solve this problem of incompetence in skills?
I'll tell you what we do at Victoria University.
Okay.
That is going to be a model or a solution for everyone, if they wish. It is simple, it is not very expensive, and it can work for higher education. In lower levels, primary and secondary, it requires a lot of intervention in terms of resources, and I can tell you where those resources can come from. But let me first tell you what we do here at Victoria University. One, we are saying that no employer needs to see your handwriting. Okay? It's an irrelevant skill today. So you cannot teach people how to handwrite, but teach them how to use technology. So in other words, when any student of ours comes to Victoria University, we are saying, thank you so much for purchasing your pen, thank you so much for purchasing your paper, but here, your learning is going to be digitized. Your coursework, assessment, digitized. Exams, digitized. Teachers, your marking, digitized. So you're helping the student, you're helping the teacher. So in other words, from year one as the student comes, you either have a phone, a laptop, a tablet, or if a desktop, or if you don't have, sit in our labs and do those things. So when you're studying, you are on this gadget. So now, as you get to interface with this gadget, you practice so many things. When you're writing your paper, you're going to type. When you're submitting your coursework, you're going to learn how to navigate the web and then submit this assignment of yours or coursework through the platform. When it comes to when you want information, you're going to go there and download it from your teacher's space. When you reach a time of writing an exam, you'll sit on your computer and then you'll find the exam there and you'll do it digitally. And then you'll submit it. The teacher will receive it, will also mark it in a digitized format. So by the time you finish 3 years, honestly, you have all the digitized skills or digital skills required. You are exposed to technology. Whatever the employer needs, you know, and you can do. Not just knowing, because there are schools I know, there are universities that I know that teach students to know to learn computer by correspondence. They look at it and then they read the theory, and then they finish knowing. I know the mouse, I know how to theoretically. No, you know how to do things. Your supervisor needs a report, you can type it in real time, speed, and give it out.
Doctor, right? I'm sure when you are admitting, you admit students from different corners of the world.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Actually, now, as a matter of fact, we have students from 51 countries.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
So now, in an event that some students are very green on technology,
exactly,
do you have orientation time for such?
So we have program admins, okay, that help in the process of orienting these students to get the basic skills to start from. There is one important asset we have. It is very hard, and this is leverage this country can really leverage on. Every young person who is growing up aspires to have a phone. The first thing they have is what? A phone. Even when they don't know what to use it for. Even if it is just Snapchat and TikTok and everything, but they have it. Okay? And they're even going to ask for money to buy data to do those things. Us as a university, we leverage that gadget. Now we teach you how to use it better for purposes that are going to help you as a student to advance yourself, to fit in the digitized economy, in the digital economy, such that you become a vibrant, competent, relevant graduate. But here is again what we do, which is something everyone should be doing to help. Like I said, you start with one child, but once you put them together, they are the country. So the other thing we do is we are saying you can still develop a curriculum that answers the needs of the employment world. Now, if you know that seating a student Monday to Friday 3 years honestly doesn't give them work experience or doesn't make them empowered to do things. So for us, we are saying the curriculum says you will study, the entire module is going to be 45 hours. For us, we are saying you will sit in our classroom 15 hours a week. Okay? Now, 15 hours are enough for you to study this theory and some practicals you'll do in the lab. But the rest of the hours, we want you, Ivan, Jessica, Peter, Andrew, Jacqueline, to be placed somewhere. If you're a journalist, go to UBC, we place you somewhere, work with a person who has this experience. Let them teach you experience, how to do things, not how to know things, knowing you can read them on your own, but how to do things in the real world. So by the time now you finish your program of 3 years, you graduate with your credential, and you also graduate with 3 years of what? Working experience. So you can do things. Just note that you can't simply, you know, but you can't do. So that's as simple as everyone should understand it and try to put it in practice. If we continue, just because we want to graduate masses, we take them through as if we are manufacturing products. These products, these people are not chocolate, are not cups, are not plates, are not parts of a car. These are people that the country expects to rely on to change society.
Doctor, I know you are well versed with America, you are well versed with Canada and Uganda. Do you think your strategy is very possible in Uganda, given the environment we are operating in, both politically and education-wise?
I have told you that these are things we are doing here at Victoria University. You would be amazed how our students enjoy studying in a digitized environment. We did not go to the bank to borrow billions and billions of money. No. We are not even funded by government. No. We use the limited tuition we receive from the students and reinvest it in systems, and we develop an infrastructure that these students can rely on. And then, when we try to place people, those students who can't place themselves, we talk to all the companies in this country. Okay? We say, okay, for us, we are nurturing these students. But at the end of the tunnel, they'll come to you. So you rather join us and you become co-educators. We can't educate alone as a university. We can give them this theory, but you can teach them experience. And who benefits are in the long run? The companies. Why? Once you give them experience and they graduate with experience, you save your money of training them, or the losses they will cause you when they don't know anything. The time they will sit on your desks and consume everything, doing nothing because they know nothing. Okay? You'll get competent employees. So join us. Let us co-educate. So these things are doable. And number two, let me tell you, let no one underestimate the power of Ugandans. Ugandans are very intelligent, they are very smart. Exposed to the right way of doing things, they will deliver. We just need the zeal and the willingness to start. The start may be a little bit rough. We may struggle. Because if you think, like I was telling you, we started with one university, we have over 50. We started with limited access to primary education or secondary education. We can now say they are there, even though quality needs to be improved, but we have them, right? So we can do these things. It's only us who can deny that opportunity to say that, okay, leave the developed countries alone. For them, they are up there. We can't be closer to them. When are we going to be closer to them, or even better, if we don't start now?
So how can we stop the habit of labor exploitation, more so when it comes to innovators? Because we have seen knowledgeable Ugandans come up with beautiful ideas, but they are taken abroad to polish and become experts.
Yeah.
That side, they end up not helping our country.
Yeah.
How can we stop
all
that?
of us, that's what has happened to us. Only that for us, we had the guts to come back, right? We went, acquired all the knowledge. I have been in 51 countries. Not that I was there for vacation. No, I went there, I've been there either as a consultant on their trying to add value to their education systems, models, or as a person who is researching them to try to understand them more. So there are so many Ugandans who leave this place, but there are others who have the guts. Ecosystem is not there to support their idea, even generation and development. People leave just because they don't even have the funds to invest into developing these ideas, to bring them to reality, to a level where they start, when you can say this is a startup. So when they realize in America, in Canada, in Israel, in Qatar, someone say, no, that idea is great, I'm going to fund it, bring it here. They'll jump on the first plane. They'll go there. So you only pray that at some point they come back. So we need to invest in a rich ecosystem that solicits for greater ideas. And then we have seed capital, investment, rich investment into nurturing these ideas or these innovations or creatives into something that the country can see as a company that employs other people. But even then, importantly, the education system should be one that is encouraging idea generation, that is encouraging creativity, that is encouraging innovation, that is encouraging forward thinking, not the one that tells you to not risk. Because right now, the examination setup we have from primary to secondary, it is actually telling everyone, please give me what I told you for the last 7 years. If you're in primary, remember them I have asked. Give me everything. Then I'll give you a D1. If you fail, you are a failure. And if you write things I can't understand, you are even ungraded right now. We don't even grade you. So the system that does not tolerate risk, does not tolerate innovation, does not tolerate creative thinking. So now the system should be rewired to support those things. You can only do that by removing these national exams and encourage continuous assessment.
You still stand your ground that
I
national
still
exams should be
insist that national exams, P.L.E, U.C.E, should be brought down completely. And that is once you bring them down, the funds you've been infusing and investing in having something that doesn't add value to the quality of education, now you can get this money, invest it in this very system,
but
to have a better education.
Don't you think, Doctor, our poor education system, as you call it, is being politically influenced? Some people use this one to make Ugandans remain the way they are as they progress in their political careers.
I don't want to believe that someone would waste their time, fight for this country, okay? From the bush, you stay there for 5 years. You risk your life to be hunted down and be killed, but you risk your life, and you come, you capture power, you become president, and you tell me that you didn't wish well your country. No. Whatever they love their country. They wish this country the best. Like His Excellency the President and the others he has worked with. They wish their country the best. But there are certain things they need to do. And they need to be brave. For me, I am very optimistic. We know that the President is a revolutionary, right?
That's true.
Very fearless. I have hope that he will rebellate the education sector, that he can revolutionize it and make it one that works for this country that he fought for so hard to bring it to where it is today. He can liberate the education sector, make it relevant, revolutionize it, make it one that actually the colonizers that wish us to stay where we are, we can now drive our own vehicle to the success we are looking for. So these things, yes, there are some people who are actually benefiting from the status quo. Now, if you have a school, okay, and it is minting first grades, and the parent has been hoodwinked to think, in their mindset, that the best thing you can ever have your child is to have 4 first grade, the first grade of 4 or 5, 6, 8, 9. Then you will go to the best school. Now, the best school is one that has invested in having teachers that are marking those exams to be their teachers. Teachers that are setting those exams to be their teachers. Teachers who will come and now teach past papers just because the parent is buying grades, not competencies. So now, once your school has been pronounced that all the kids we had here got first grades and the majority got 4s, then everyone will, during selection, everyone is going to apply for that particular school. And once you have only 300 spots, like places, and you have been confronted with 1,500 applications, what do? Economics tells us where there is demand, the price does what?
Increases.
So you increase the price such that whoever can afford can occupy the 300 places you have. So who can afford the money? So, and they will afford, because when it comes to a child, we pay attention to our children. And the mindset that has been created is that for them to succeed in life, they have to get distinctions. So the best school is one that is minting distinctions. So the owners, they know that actually national exams are not that helpful, that there are better methods of assessment we can use that are not national exams. But because it helps them classify schools, that now you can inflate the price because of where you're classified, they don't want to let it go. So there are some interest groups that we need to look at, but there are no one should have personal interests better than the interests of the country. If we all supported the interests of the country, in the long run, all of us will do better. So yes, if we go down this path that I'm talking about, some businesses will also struggle, but for the good of the country. Now, people say that continuous assessment and UNEB that has been conducting these exams, why can't we, if we are saying that UNEB is good and the teachers are the ones who set exams, right? And they are the ones who mark these exams, why can't they mark them in their own schools? Why can't they set them in their own schools without being centralized somewhere? So the moment you cut off that kind of national thing, you are also reducing this business of selling grades. Parents having a mindset of chasing grades. Now, communities are going to develop their own schools, and kids are going to stay in their very communities. And now, leaders, political leaders, religious leaders, business leaders, they are going to become now concerned about their region, trying to advocate, lobby for it, get the best resources for their schools, because their kids are going where? There. So I still insist P.L.E should be scrapped. U.C.E should be also scrapped. We should introduce school districts, and we should introduce district evaluation boards. And then UNEB, what used to be UNEB, should be changed into something that acts as a quality assurance body, that acts as a research body, that comes up with better frameworks, better policy, better research, guidance on assessment to help the district evaluation boards conduct assessment within their respective school district or region. That is when school becomes relevant for the child in a particular region. That's when school becomes cheaper, not as expensive as it is in terms of fees. That's when we start having kids who care about the problems of their very community and growing up solving those problems, along with what this the amazing education model that this government has brought. Very, very amazing, and I really give them credit. They should just stretch it to primary and upper secondary, senior 5, senior 6, the competence-based education model. If it can operate in primary and upper secondary, even lower secondary, plus everything else I've talked about, Uganda will be great.
What advice do you give to these graduates who have gone through examination-based curriculum and are already affected by this system? What can they do?
So, first of all, I will say that I empathize with them. You are a victim of a system that you did not create, that you found, that really hyped you that you are actually going through a great education and they're going to change the world. Yes, all of us were told the same story. But at the end of the day, there is need to restore the higher education promise. All of us, we grew up knowing that if you go through everything, if you persist and go through higher education, your future is assured. Yes, the future is assured. You're going to be alive, for sure. But it does not necessarily mean that you're not going to struggle, because the education you got was not an education you deserved. You deserved better. But now, what can I tell you? Now, you know, today we are in the digital world. Everything is digitized. AI, artificial intelligence, is now on a rampage to wipe out most of the jobs. Web3 technology is coming, and other new emerging technologies. So there are things we call micro-credentials. Reskill yourself or add value to the degree you have. Enroll in these micro-credentials, in AI, in different technology-related kind of disciplines that are out there. Gain some unique competencies, okay? Such that when someone is looking for a person who can do this, for you are showing up that I can even help you use AI to even shorten the time to deliver this, because you have self-education through different micro-credentials. And these are accessible for free most of the time. And even if you have to pay $1, $2, $10 to access these micro courses and credentials, it is necessary. You do it. Get the certifications. Forget about your degree. It is okay, you have it, but do not settle for less. I know you think you have it. Every time you put it in an envelope, you go and they type for you the application and the CV, and you roam around all these companies, and when they don't give you a job, you start cursing people, feeling that when you even saying that the president is not helping you. No, this is the time you're going to help yourself. Micro-credentials. Enroll for those certifications. Get unique competencies that can help you navigate life in this digital economy. There are different where actually you can enroll and deliver different services and receive more money than any public servant you think who is having a full-time job in government. So there are so many. Upwork, Fiverr, everything. So, but do you know about them? No. Did the education you went through your degree teach you about these things? No. So this is the time you have to invest in yourself, micro-credentials, different certifications, learn more about yourself, learn more about the digital world we are in. What things can you do? Which competencies can you really amass to be able to actively participate in the digital economy? I told you there are so many digital platforms where you can even be tutoring children in China English, and you are here in Uganda and you're paid decently. They are a graphic designer or animator. You go on Fiverr and you sell your services, but you need to learn these things, and you are paid in dollars, too much money. So you will never need even to work anywhere in this country, much as you are working within your country, bringing foreign exchange in this country, more money, take care of yourself, your family, your community, and Uganda becomes better.
Doctor, as we wind up our discussion, briefly give us talk about the issue of expired courses, because some graduates are still worried that when they go abroad to add on their studies, they are bounced back. So they are not sure whether the courses they have studied, they are true or they are invalid. Yes.
Okay, I wanted to assure fellow Ugandans and everyone who has acquired a credential, an academic credential in higher education here in Uganda, let me tell you, no one should tell you that a degree expires. No one. That is something that was erroneously used, a terminology that went wrong. Instead of people saying that a program is under review, they said a program has expired. Okay, now let me tell you what happens. In higher education, we have a regulator, National Council for Higher Education. They do a greater job, despite their being resource constrained, okay? But they do a great job. So now, every time we come up with a program, that program, you start implementing it. But along the way, different things change. New technology comes up. Now we have AI, for example. If you developed a program, and also we have the thinking about the environment, okay? Environmental degradation and everything. Those are important. Technology, environmental sustainability or protection. Those are very important things. So now, when those things come and you're running a program, you want to add value to this program. So you start infusing in things that this program may not have. So, and it is advisable that you keep reviewing the program or the curriculum to make sure that it is relevant with the times we are in. So now, 3 years down the road, if I'm teaching a business administration program or degree, I keep on reviewing. When I realize that AI can benefit my students, then I add AI in the curriculum. Or I add environmental responsiveness into the curriculum. When I realize that what I have added is less than 25%, I don't have to contact National Council for Higher Education, the regulator. But if I have changed 30% or more, then I have to take it to National Council for Higher Education to look at it and ascertain with the technical people they have that what I have done actually fits the times we are in. And then they will say, okay, go ahead in form of a letter, go ahead and continue teaching. So that is what they say. If you spend 5 years without taking it there for National Council to look at it, because it's mandatory that after 5 years you have to review and submit to National Council. If you delay to take it there for some reasons, or you submit it to National Council and takes long to be returned because they are constrained with the staff and resources and technical people, then someone said the program expired. No, the program does not expire. The program gets to be improved regularly. So now you realize in Uganda there are people who studied programs that are no longer offered. Okay? They were removed in different institutions. Now do you want to tell those Ugandans that, oh, now you expired completely because your degree doesn't exist? No, it doesn't work like that. So you should be calm, don't worry. This thing of expired degrees is nothing. It's just a word that was misused. So National Council continues to do their diligent job, and the institutions are also submitting these programs to National Council for review, and the terminology has been changed. Once you have not submitted this program, they will tell you that your program is due for review. Please send it for review. And once you submit it there on their site, you'll find that they say it is under review. Review is complete. So they say, go ahead and do what? Teach it in a letter, teach it the way you have promised to teach it. So this is a healthy way of trying to update the curriculum on a daily basis if you can, yearly basis, within 5 years, and you notify National Council. There is nothing that says a program has expired, a degree has expired. That is something or a terminology we never use in education.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for giving us your time. We have been having an insightful discussion, and I hope policymakers and educationists should not afford to miss this show with Dr. Lawrence Muganga. I am Ivan Tukundane.
IT Media.
Empowering truth, inspiring change.